Hello, my name is Alejandro Salas, and this is an updated version of my Swarm algorithm project in which I made the changes that I proposed last week. Before I start and dive into this project, I'd like to go over the changes that I made. So, in the original animation, there was no attraction object, so the objects in the swarm were just flying around aimlessly, and I didn't enjoy this, and so I wanted to insert an attraction object, and this is exactly what I did. This would be mimicking like in nature how bees revolve around a beehive or how ants cluster around food in the ground. Next change was that the fact that the animation in the original only lasted 30 seconds, and I felt like this was way too short, so I wanted it extended by at least a minute, and this is what I did. Next are the speed controls. I'm not going to go over them, but essentially I just made the objects in the swarm go faster. The cohesion in the original was set very low, meaning that the objects were kind of separated from each other and flew around without really moving as a group. And I wanted to change this, make the swarm a little bit more packed. And this was another change that I wanted to make, that the objects were flying too far apart, but I didn't know that the cohesion and that this change would go hand in hand. Anyways, I changed it and I like how it goes, how it is at the moment. And in the original, the containment zone in which the objects were flying in, I felt like it was way too big. So I wanted to decrease the size of that containment zone, and that's what I did. And the way I did it was by using this PySwarm interface application. And what this application does is that it lets you create scripts, which then you could take to Carrera, which is a rendering software that allows you to do animations. So by manipulating the different concepts of the swarm algorithm, I managed to create a script that can be seen in an animation, that can mimic the concepts of the swarm algorithm. I changed the cohesion strength, as you can see here. I changed it so they could be more packed, and the containment zone, I made it way smaller than the original. And I also added the attraction object, which is the radial tail, as you'll see in a second. And then I took this script, which and imported into Carrera. And this is the animation that I ended up with. I'm going to be playing it right now. And as you can see, these I added two more objects to the swarm, and I also added the attraction model. And the radio tower that you see in the middle, that's the attraction model that these swarms are revolving around with. Um, these objects move faster than the previous animation. They're also more closely together. No one's like no one's an outcast in this swarm. There's no one flying around aimlessly or anything. They're flying around with a purpose around the radio tower, and I felt like this demonstrates much better the how a swarm actually behaves in nature, in both nature and in the real world. Um, Anyways, this is my project. This is what I ended up with. I'm very satisfied with it. I feel like it, and yeah, that's been my project. Thank you.